Good afternoon and welcome to today's Tropical Atlantic Marine Weather Briefing. My name is Amanda Reinhart and I'll be going over what's currently happening today and what to expect in the coming week. So in summary, we've got good news for this upcoming week. We have no gales expected, nor very large swell expected across the Atlantic, Caribbean, and Gulf of Mexico. So starting out with this morning's surface analysis, as you can see, we've got two cold fronts that are moving across the Atlantic, and the tail end of this front is moving across the Caribbean. And we've got a prefrontal trough there, and we'll talk more about this main front stretching into the Caribbean in the coming slides. We also have a trough in the central Atlantic. We've got a low pressure, the typical low pressure over Colombia, and high pressure across the Gulf of Mexico. So taking a look at the wind and wave forecast by Monday morning, this is Monday morning at 8 a.m. You can see that main cold front that I was pointing out in the earlier slide. It's got moderate to fresh winds behind it and 8 to 9 foot seas. We also have moderate to locally fresh winds with 8 to 10 foot seas in the central Atlantic. Otherwise, all quiet in the Gulf of Mexico and the Caribbean. And then by 48 hours, so this is Tuesday morning, we've got that front still moving across the Atlantic, and then that high pressure is building behind the front and creating some fresh to strong winds behind the front with the pressure gradient associated between the two. And then we've got 8 to 10 foot seas beginning to impact the Bahamas, Turks and Caicos, and even portions of the Greater Antilles. In addition, we've got some 8 foot seas still out in the central Atlantic, and then we've got some moderate to fresh winds across the Caribbean with seas potentially getting up to 8 feet. And then by Wednesday, December 25th, you still have the cold front that's moving across the central Atlantic with moderate to fresh winds in our area, with the stronger winds north of our waters with 8 to 11 foot seas. And then we've probably got like a lingering tail end of the boundary here with moderate to locally fresh winds and then 8 to 9 foot seas associated with that. We still have moderate to fresh winds across the Caribbean, but seas will be below 8 feet. And then by Thursday, December 26th, we still have that boundary lingering across the central Atlantic with some moderate to locally fresh winds behind it and then 8 to 11 foot seas. Otherwise, winds will be locally fresh across the Bahamas to Puerto Rico, and then moderate to locally fresh in the Caribbean and the Western Gulf, but seas will all be below 8 feet. And then to rounding out your upcoming week, this is Friday, December 27th. Really, we've only got these 8 foot seas associated with this moderate to locally fresh winds. The fresh winds are much farther north of our area, but it'll be driving some 8 foot seas into our area. Otherwise, all quiet. So in summary, we're not expecting any hazards with gales or large swell in this upcoming week. That concludes your Tropical Atlantic Marine Weather Briefing. Our next briefing will be Thursday, December 26th at 5 p.m. Thank you and have a safe week.